Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com. Today we have a very special guest, an interview with Bruce Weinstein. He is America's foremost ice cream expert and all-around good guy. And welcome, Bruce. He is the author of The Ultimate Ice Cream Book. And you wrote this alone? You wrote this with your partner?
I wrote this with my partner, Mark Scarborough. We actually write all of our books together.
Okay, and this is The Ultimate Ice Cream Book. And 500 ice cream sorbets. That's an amazing number.
It's a whole lot of ice cream. It's a whole lot of fun to write. This book took about a year to write, so it was a year of my year of living dangerously.
What makes this kind of different than
this is the best-selling ice cream book, if I can say that. And I think part of why no other books come out that beat it is the variety of recipes. The simplicity of use. We've alphabetized every recipe in the book, so if you want mint chocolate chip ice cream, look under M. You don't have to bother going to the index. The whole book is an index. In the book, we've given base recipes for everything and then followed up with a dozen variations. So if you can make great raspberry ice cream, then you can easily make raspberry ginger lemongrass crunch ice cream.
I mean, this is like one of the best jobs ever.
I love my job. I have a great job. I get to think about food all day. I get to test and play with food all day. And then I get to work for great companies and go around and make things and go on TV, and it's great. And I'm in California, telling Californians all about how much milk and ice cream is produced in their state, because I don't think they realize that their state is the #1 dairy producing state in the country. So in celebration of all of that, we've come up in cooperation with the California Milk Advisory Board with recipes for ice cream sundaes and ice cream desserts that have the flavor and tone of different cities in California. And one of the things that I'm telling Californians on this tour is when you're making your own ice cream and when you're looking for dairy products, look for California dairy products to put into it. Since we're in a state that makes so much of it, and then people say, well, how do I know? And It's actually quite easy because the Milk Advisory Board has put together the seal, the Real California Milk seal. So if you look for that on your dairy products, you know that you're getting real California products.
And I don't think a lot of people know the original American ice cream was ice milk. Mm-hmm. It didn't really contain the French custard, which is more the modern style.
And using only milk is a very Italian thing.
Really?
Because Italian gelato is not made with cream, it's made with milk. And American ice cream now is all cream, while most European ice creams are milk and egg based.
Right.
So, and Philadelphia style is just cream, and that's
no eggs
at all.
Sugar, cream, vanilla.
And one of the things that I discovered in writing the book, that to get a better texture in Philadelphia style without the eggs, is you warm the cream, dissolve the sugar in the warm cream, and then when you freeze it, you get a much better texture than just mixing the sugar in.
Do you remember the first ice cream you ever ate? Do you have a memory?
Oh yeah, Bungalow Bar, banana. It was a banana crunch ice cream from the guy ringing the bell coming down the streets.
How about the first ice cream you ever made?
The first ice cream I ever made was probably a peach ice cream. I remember making peach ice cream as a kid.
And was that the hand churned?
Yeah, rock salt and ice.
But your current favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, I am so weak on that. It's vanilla. Just give me vanilla. You could put anything on it. You could put anything in it. And good vanilla is really hard to improve on.
Some swear by the bean, only bean, gotta have the specs. Others, too expensive, too much work, a really good extract, there's no difference in the final product. Now, texture and appearance aside, blind taste tests, what's your opinion on that debate?
Well, there is a difference. I don't think one is better than the other. It's just that there's a difference. I think when you use real beans, you'll get more of a flowery fragrance coming through. And then again, if you're using beans from Tahiti versus beans from Mexico or beans from Madagascar, you can have a different flavor too. The
ice cream makers, the most common at home was probably the freeze the bowl in the overnight and then use the electric. I have a, I don't know if I can name brands. It's my website. I have a Cuisinart. That seems like it does a really good job.
Okay.
It just is so small.
How big? What do you make?
It makes like a quart or so.
There are some that make a quart and a half. The best thing to do if you're buying one of those kind of machines is you can buy set extra canisters. So you should always keep 2 or 3 canisters in the freezer. The alternative to that, of course, is buying a machine with a compressor built in, but that's going to run you probably about between $200 and $300.
Right. I never thought about an extra canister. That's why I'm doing the interview and he's answering the questions. Now, this liquid nitrogen thing is so disturbing to me. It seems like they said it tastes better because it freezes so fast and the crystals are smaller. I don't believe it. I'm afraid of liquid nitrogen.
You need to get some air in your ice cream. The amount of air that goes in is called overrun. And the more overrun there is, the lighter and airier, foamier your ice cream is. Super high premium ice cream doesn't have much overrun, so it's dense and chewy. If it freezes too fast, you're not going to have any overrun, and then you're just going to have a giant frozen thing of cream.
Thank you. You hear that? Well, because they're like, the minimum zero air would be the perfect.
Well, that's just put your container of cream in the freezer and lick it.
Thank you. Did you hear that? Lick it. Thank you. Those guys bug me because I don't understand any of that, and I'm too old to learn. You're known for your collection of the ultimate cookbooks.
That's right.
Is it true Tyler Florence is in litigation now?
We are not in litigation.
Okay.
But when he started his show, Tyler's Ultimate, the head of the Book of the Month Club was a good friend of ours. Had a big fight with him, and she told him he couldn't do it. He was like,
this is the kind of juicy stuff I'm after.
So
did they come to blows?
They did not.
Now, talk to the poor person in the studio apartment. Their freezer's barely big enough for an ice tray. Okay, is there a way without a machine to make a decent homemade ice cream just by freezing and stirring or freezing and pureeing?
There are certain things that just take certain kinds of equipment.
Right.
So
it's the movement is the key to keep the crystals from forming.
The constant churning as it freezes.
Do you have any questions for me?
How many scoops do you want?
And then the interview got really good. Bruce actually personally made me one of his sundaes that he's promoting on this tour sponsored by the California Milk Advisory Board. It was vanilla ice cream, dulce de leche, caramel sauce. And by the way, when he grabbed the maraschino cherries, big points in my book. This is called I'll let him tell you.
San Francisco Cable Caramel Sundae.
I gave him that name. This looks amazing.
There you go.
No narration necessary. Is there anything better than salty peanuts with
No,
cream?
nothing. There's nothing better.
And that's when I realized I had lost all objectivity and I was just enjoying my sundae. Unbelievable.
You approve?
Bruce Weinstein is the best ice cream maker in America. Okay, so much for, journalistic integrity. But all kidding aside, it was amazingly delicious, and I actually believe he's the best ice cream maker in America. And unless you think you are, and then, have me come interview you. In fact, I was so inspired, I went home after the interview, and guess what I did? I made ice cream. Anyway, thanks, Bruce. Thanks for the interview. Check out the site for more info, and as always, enjoy.